On February 15, 2012, Xi Jinping, then Vice President of China, recounted a story about his fellow townsman from Fujian during a visit to the US. In the spring of 1992, when I was working in Fuzhou city in Fujian province, I read a newspaper article with the headline, "Ah, Cooling." The story began over a century ago. It was about an American couple and their love for a place in China called Cooling. In 1901, Milton Gardner came to China's Fujian province with his missionary parents. He spent a happy and unforgettable childhood there. In 1911, Gardner returned to California with his family. Gardner later became professor of physics at the University of California, Davis, but he always missed his memorable Cooling. Actually, he never returned to China. On his deathbed, Gardner repeatedly whispered, "Kuliang, Kuliang." It was the name of a place, but no one knew where it was. Gardner's wife Elizabeth traveled to China hoping to find Kuliang, but without success, until one day, at the invitation of Xi Jinping, Secretary of the Fuzhou Municipal Party Committee and Honorary President of the Fuzhou Municipal Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. In 1992, Mrs. Gardner arrived in Fuzhou and it was met by Xi at the Wengkuang Hotel in the evening. Xi greeted his guest warmly. He had asked the Foreign Affairs Office to see whether we could invite Mrs. Gardner to China. Former Fuzhou daily reporter Kiao Mei said, President Xi gave the information that Fuzhou was a city with a long history. It has a long history of friendly exchange and trade with other cities and countries. The Cooling village area had been a place where many foreign friends went to escape the summer heat. Mr. Gardner was our friend and we value this kind of friendship and historical exchange. Xi Jinping said he was touched by Gardner's lifelong love for Cooling and Fuzhou. He said it was natural for us to invite Mrs. Gardner to Fuzhou to see the place where her husband once lived. When Mr. Gardner went out of the car, I could see tears in her eyes. She was very emotional. Just imagine, she was finally visiting the place her husband had yearned to return to for decades. Sitting under the Cryptomeria tree, Elizabeth Gardner told her husband's history. When he was alive, he used to say he was Chinese. Even in his writings, he wrote that he is a Chinese man with American blood. After her husband passed away, she had tried her utmost to fulfill his dying wish, but she had no idea where Guliang was. She had visited China several times. She received an invitation from Xi Jinping. Once on a page, he had stuck 11 stamps. One of them was postmarked from Shanghai to Kuling. Kuling is known as Guliang in Fuzhou dialect. When she saw the stamps, she burst into tears. She was excited and immediately told John Hang, a Chinese student in the US. John Hang wrote an article under the headline Ah Kuling, which was published in the overseas edition of People's Daily. Xi Jinping read the article and decided to invite her to Fuzhou. Seeing how he handled it, I believe Xi Jinping is a man with great vision and an open mind. He knew immediately that the story could become a popular anecdote in the long history of friendship between the Chinese and American people. Gardner's childhood friends joined Mrs. Gardner to reminisce about the times they had spent with him. They were all in their 90s. Mrs. Gardner was enjoyed. She was emotional, saying that she had fulfilled her husband's dying wish. Beautiful, cooling, and warm-hearted Chinese people had made her understand why her husband had missed China so much. Thank you.